Good morning, or well, I guess it would be morning for just about everybody who might be listening, except our friends in Europe. It's afternoon there. This is SmallBizDavid, and welcome to today's edition of Dreaming with Entrepreneurs in Google+. We're actually getting started a little bit early today because our guest entrepreneur has to be in his car in the next 15 minutes heading to an out-of-office appointment. So I said, well, let's do it. Let's just start early, and whatever happens, happens. But it is my pleasure I don't have to introduce him because I think, is there anybody in Google that doesn't know you, Ronnie Bincer? Let me, for honest, is there anybody that doesn't know you?
I am sure there are people that don't know me. I am sure. So hello, everybody. My name's Ronnie.
And Ronnie, as you know, one of the things that we're doing in our community, a very important thing, and people are starting to react to it now, is I want you to share inside the community what specifically it is you do with your business, number one, and how, as a community, because you know that we operate with a spirit of collaboration. That's our major focus. How can we help each other? How can we help you as a community to do something with your business? And if you are bold enough as an entrepreneur to present it, we'll do it and help you any way we can, because that, my friends, and you've heard me say it many times, is the future of small business in this country. Is how can we help each other grow our business? You know, because if you help me with something in my business, because you've got something of value you can offer me, and I help you with something in your business, we're helping each other's businesses, but together we form a new force of energy, of something that we can take to the marketplace. So that is the spirit with which we operate in Dreaming with Entrepreneurs in Google+. So, to that point, my friend Ronnie Bincer. Good morning, Ronnie, formally.
Good morning. Good morning, David. Hey, I wouldn't limit things just to your country. This is worldwide.
We're talking about the world. You're right. But I'm learning. I know more about what's happening in this country, and I'm learning. Well, it's a great point. It's a great point. Vivek, in a conversation that we were having, a community conversation over the weekend, mentioned a situation that was happening in England. And it was a whole thing about small business there. So I'm not really good on the cultures of other countries in terms of business, but hey, bring it on. I mean, business is business.
This Hangout stuff is a window to the world, baby. Window to the world.
Hangout, and this is probably the 1,000,000th time that Ronnie has said that. So the bells and the whistles are all going off and the alarms. Okay, so Ronnie, how? First of all. Tell us a little bit about the Hangout Mastery group that you created, and I'm kind of curious. I was trying to remember exactly when you launched it without looking it up in my files, because I remember about a month before you launched it, you and I actually had a conversation about what was going to happen. So how long ago was that?
Yeah, I'm going to be a bad business person and tell you I don't remember exactly the date it started. I've had it.
You remember when cash flow started flowing?
I had it in my mind for a couple of years, and so in my mind, it started a long, long time ago before it ever physically was here. So I know it's been
a year,
8, 9 months by now. I don't remember, but it's. Anyways, the point is, I do training as a natural thing. This is what I do. And when I'm involved with Hangouts and I love the tool, I help people learn how to use them. And so I was trying to figure out how can I get paid to do that. And so what I was doing was one-on-one or small group consultations inside Hangouts, which, by the way, we're going to be talking about that. I'm doing a training for the Hangout Mastery group as to how people can set that up so you can do that yourself. In fact, in one of the Hangout message boxes, someone's asking me, is it okay to compete with me? And I'm saying, yes, please do.
Who's asking, is it okay to compete? Who's bold enough to ask that question?
No. he's saying he wouldn't even dare whatever, but I'm saying that everybody can use this platform to do private training sessions, private consultations, private coaching. It's a phenomenal way to do it, and it's boundless. There's no limits to the geographic environment. Like I said, it's window to the world. I could work with somebody in India just as easily as I could do someone right down the street. So the point is, I was doing training, and I tried to figure out how can I not go crazy in life and yet make an income with what I love doing. And so instead of just continuing with one-on-one or small groups, I decided I need to be able to scale this somehow. And so that's where I came up with the idea of a membership environment. Now, I've also tried the idea of making products, and the product idea is still percolating, and it's just not come out yet, because by the time I either get the product done, all the technology's changed, or there's hiccups that we get involved in trying to get that product out the door. Bottom line is, so I decided, okay, I can wing stuff, I can go with the flow, and I can show you live activity as soon as it happens. That environment inside of a membership group allows me to do that. I can do live trainings, I can schedule it and say, let's just talk about what just happened last week, or what happened yesterday, or today. So the ability to do that with an audience that is willing and able to pay for this information is where I came up with the idea of the membership group. It's not like I came up with the membership group as it's new. It's just new for me.
Well, and there's certainly, and I was one of your early charter members. I don't know what my membership number is, so I can actually speak from experience. But there's advantage and there's benefits that aren't necessarily obvious, and I want to share some of those, and you can comment on them also.
Sure.
For instance,
you were one of the very first ones, and your interaction that happens within that community is very, very helpful, I think.
Well, and that's where I was going with this. The comment I was going to make. Not only you get access to Ronnie, who has access to things as they are happening. If anybody in the world knows what's happening in Google Hangouts, one of the very, very early people is Ronnie Bincer. Period. That's how it works. That's why he is the Hangout helper. But also,
we'll even throw out a little hint today. If you are a Chromebook user, you have something special on your way very, very, very soon. The rest of us
here you go. You heard it first.
But if you're a Chromebook user, yeah, you're going to have some pretty cool stuff with Hangouts coming your way.
Does this qualify?
Is that a Chromebook? I can't see what it is.
Chromebook. Wow.
Hey, well then you get to see it before I would, because I don't have a Chromebook.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I knew that was one of the best $219.
There you go. Keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail too much, because we have a very limited time.
That's okay. It's one of the best $219 investments I ever made.
Fantastic.
Okay, but
we're talking about the community.
There's a lot of information, and you do a wonderful job in at least once a week you have a hangout. It seems that, I don't know, you do so many hangouts, I don't know what's official and what's not official. But
yeah,
I've been trying to schedule them.
I've been trying to schedule a little more consistently so people can plan around it. Like the first Wednesday of every month, we're going to have a new member or just member Q&A. Later in the month, which I haven't set the date yet, we tend to have another Q&A. And then in the middle of the month or somewhere, I also try to do a training. Like Thursday. Today is Tuesday. So in 2 days, we're going to have a training on how do you run private video sessions. How do you do private consulting, private coaching, and that I think is going to be a really big one.
And that leads into another advantage, benefit of the community. There's no way that you can attend everything that's going on. Anybody can. Ronnie's got to be there because he's the presenter, but it's hard to. But the resource library available to members inside the community is probably second to none. There's just so many resources, number one. So if you've got a question, you say, wow, I knew Ronnie talked about that, or I don't know if he did. Let's go in if I can find some information on it. But equally important, and here's another benefit, I have never seen another community in my mind, in my activity, where people, if they have a problem, they post it inside the community, and within minutes, sometimes you are there many times. Well, you are a 24/7 kind of guy, so but people will post a challenge, a problem, something's not working right, and boom, there's 10 people there who have shared the same thing or whatever. So there's all this interaction. Okay.
Yeah, that is very, very valuable, and I am incredibly happy that it's worked out that way. I had hoped it would. My DNA is I'm a helpful guy, I'm a hangout helper, and that fortunately has started the process, I believe, and as a result, many people are in the community helping each other, because not only are they learning to help better, but they also learn what they're helping about better. I don't know how you say that. In other words, as a trainer, I've learned for years that I really get to know a product well when I try to teach somebody how to use the product. So everyone that is helping others is not only being helpful, but they're also getting a better understanding of what it is they're teaching or helping with while they go about helping other people. So it's a win-win-win for everybody in the community.
Have you gone over 200 members yet? I know you were real close at the last time I looked.
No, right now we're still in the realm of the 180-ish, 180 to 187-ish. So we haven't broke the 200 mark yet. No.
Wow, and it's no big deal. It's just a number. But more important than that number, I will bet, Ronnie, that I have had personal interactions, one-to-one interactions, with about 2/3 of that community in one way or another.
Yeah. And not only the interactions, but because they are willing to help you, you say, I need someone to help me watch the comments on this show, or I need somebody to help me produce this, or whatever. Does anyone want to try? And bam, there'll be all kinds of people volunteering to give you a hand, which is amazing. And it's not just U.S., but there's a whole European contingency that are helping each other. So it's really cool.
And that's kind of interesting, too, because the technology issues around the world are vastly different from country to country.
Yeah, we're even talking about, because of bandwidth things and the terminology that's used for the speed of your internet connection is slightly different in different parts of the world. It's been very helpful for those that are in the UK area to talk about a certain name or a type of signal that they can purchase versus what we can have here in the US. It is different in that sense.
So I think have I hit all the benefits of membership in the mastery community?
In as short a time as we have, sure, you bet.
Okay, so one final thing I'd like to say, and Ronnie's got to get on his way for a out of office meeting. Early in this event stream, I posted an affiliate link. I was actually in Ronnie's trial affiliate group of 3 or 4 of us that were in that initial beta test,
right.
And I shouldn't tell you. Well, you know this. The 2 or 3 weeks after the beta test started, I pulled my site down that had that link. That's not a good thing, but we're gonna get back into it because it's important. And anybody who uses the affiliate link that I had posted earlier in the event stream, a couple things are going to happen. Number one, the first month's affiliate commission fee is going to go to a charity, and I haven't determined that charity yet. Maybe I'll take some suggestions from the folks who actually use that affiliate link, but it's probably going to be something with kids or animals. We know a lot of children and a lot of animals that need a lot of help, so it's probably going to be something in that area. That's number one. So whatever the first month's affiliate commission is, it'll go to charity. Number two, a couple years ago, I wrote a book. I wrote chapter 23. I didn't write the book. I wrote chapter 23 in a book, Business Strategies for Explosive Growth in the New Economy, featuring David Leopold and Brian Tracy. That was about 3 years ago. I wrote chapter 23. It was a wonderful experience. But I will personally autograph, if you will, chapter 23. And by the personalization, it'll be you challenge me with your greatest Small Business Challenge, and I will give you the best answer that I possibly can give, but I definitely will set you down the path of helping you with that problem that you have. And those group of people who use the affiliate link, and this is going to be good until, I don't know, the end of the month for sure, maybe longer, will also be subject to a very new mastery group that I'm playing around with right now, where I'm going to actually share some very, very secret sauce, and I will use that group as a beta test group for what I want to do. How's that sound, Ryan? Does that sound pretty good?
It sounds fantastic. So just so
Okay,
everybody
well,
knows, the training is on the I'm looking at the calendar, the 22nd of May. If you are able to be in there live, you get to ask questions, and we will answer those questions live as part of the training. If you somehow can't make it there at that moment, you can always watch the replay within the membership website, because we keep track of all of our training sessions, and we put them up there on the membership website, so when people join later, they can watch prior episodes. So there you go.
And if there's anybody in the community that can help me figure out why I can only have access to private information in the community through my Firefox browser, not my Chrome browser, please let me. I cannot access.
Here's my biggest tip. My biggest tip is when I do these private Hangout and Air broadcasts for the membership, you have to be signed in only with the account that is authorized to be in the community, and that may mean turning off all prior sessions, which also means sometimes clearing your cache. So you may need to clear out the cache on Chrome if that's where you're having problems viewing it. But if you got a trick and it works in Firefox, go ahead and watch it in Firefox when that happens.
It's not as good in Firefox, honestly. I mean, Firefox is way different than watching it in Chrome.
Okay. Then I would clear your browser and clear your browser cache, and there's a term that's called clear from the beginning of time. You probably need to do that, and that'll clear out potentially any of the little connections that are still stuck to other accounts that you are not necessarily signed in with, but the Chrome browser somehow thinks you still are connected. And I, with that, have to head out. So thanks, David.
Ronnie, thank you very much for your time today, and you do have a wonderful mastery community. It's been extremely helpful to me. I like to say it's the best business investment I make every month. To belong to the community, it's $47 a month, and it does not take long to get back that $47 investment. You need one good thing to happen. One good thing to happen in the month.
That's all.
You'll get it back.
There you go.
That's all.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for having me, and thanks for being part of the community as well.
My pleasure.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see what we got going here. Well, let me reference the folks who came here: Preston, Vivek, Roxanne, Wayne. If any of you would like to come into the Hangout, personally come into the Hangout, and we're going to be on for a couple more minutes. Let me know in the event stream, and I'll invite you in. Let's take I see Wayne is. Okay, Wayne, I will resend that email to you, Wayne. It was for folks who want to get involved in our monetizing Hangouts. I've been working for several months now on the concept of how do we monetize Hangouts, and I've got two different initiatives going on right now, and each one is moving along. Neither one of them is completed yet. But as I'm developing them, one is specifically with a client, if you will, one brand. The other is with a vertical industry kind of approach. Actually, Wayne, I'm going to actually conclude this HOA. I've been invited to. I forgot, and it just came to mind. I've been invited to be on a panel of an HOA that starts in about 15-20 minutes. Well, wait a second. Vivek is, or am I confused? Is Ray having a panel discussion today? I'm going to invite you guys in. What the hey? I'm going to invite you in. Hold on. Let me get back to another screen here. I'm going to invite some people in. Plus Wayne next. Plus Vivek. See, I pronounced your name right today, Vivek. Plus Preston. I think I got everybody that wanted to come in, and your invites are on their way. While we're waiting, I can say that I watched Wayne do a. Oh, here he is right now. Let me tell him personally. He's coming on, and Vivek's there. Wow, they're coming on. They accepted the invitation, and Preston accepted the invitation. There's Vivek in the UK.
Hello.
How you doing,
Hello.
Vivek?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hey.
And who's that? Is that Wayne?
Hello, yes, this is Wayne.
That's Wayne in Nolan. Actually, it's not Nolans. What's the name of the city you actually live in?
Youngsville.
Youngsville, that's right.
Yep.
And let me tell you, Wayne, I totally enjoyed your HOA yesterday on crawfish cooking. And I'll tell you what, you had a good wing person helping you out there.
Well, yeah, the wife's pretty good, isn't she?
She was watching exactly. She was sharing the aromas coming from the. How far away from you was she from you physically?
Probably about 4 feet.
Oh, 4 feet. And you had some incredible shots going on there, and it was you did a great job. It was only your second HOA. Is that right?
Right, that seems to be amazing, people, but we're having fun with it, and I think it's becoming easier because it's, we're having fun. We still have a long ways to go. This is going to be, a long growth project. But what I'm really trying to do is tie what people are accustomed to seeing on TV with the live events and merging the two concepts. And that's why we have the camera angles, and we're looking at some new audio things. And we had music that's non-proprietary. It just didn't play for some reason. So we're still working on it. Still got a lot of kinks. But
Vivek, you think he sounds like our friend Scott Scowcroft now, who says that the HOAs are the new daytime television?
Yeah. With regard to the music you were referring to, I think Google usually, in a way, they shoot first, then ask questions.
I didn't know if there was.
When it comes to copyright and things like that, they shoot first, then ask questions later. That's the problem. So whenever you try to broadcast any music, they try to block you. So it's better not to try, unless you show the live happening.
Gotcha.
Live thing. I mean, the music players should be visible on the camera, then I think they would let you. Otherwise, anything in the background, I think they're going to block it.
Okay.
Take that information, because the worst thing that can happen to you, Wayne, particularly early in
Yeah.
your career, was to have a black mark from Google. That
Google.
you don't want that.
There was someone I can contact through Google and send them an email and saying, look, I have this music that was created for me, and I want to put it on my show, and kind of be, you know.
That would take a long time. So
Well, why don't you just to Vivek's point, Wayne? Why don't you just have someone come in and play the guitar and sing the music while you're going on in the background?
yeah, that you could do. I mean, you could. I mean, when you started, you said trying to merge the TV and the Hangout video stuff. So you could bring in one of the cameras. You could have a orchestra or your music, whatever the group,
Right.
and they can play. And
So I have the Looking for Good Cooking band.
yeah. Mhm.
The washboards, Wayne, and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
No, but you don't want to get a black mark against you this early in your career, because you got a good thing going. We actually had a discussion. We did an HOA on this maybe 3 months ago now, and Google makes it extremely difficult because the terms of service of an HOA are different than the terms of service of YouTube. And so, as you know, an HOA automatically becomes a YouTube. But in the case then of doing music specifically, you have to make sure that you're compliant with both Google, with both the Hangout terms of service as well as the YouTube terms of service. Is that a good answer, Vivek?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I was actually referring to your. You had changed the time, but not changed it correctly. So I was slightly confused. Just a minute. I have somebody at my door.
Well, that's okay. Now we're, you know us. We're a community. We're a free-flowing, as it happens. No rules and well, there are a few rules and regulations, but not many. And Preston's being awfully quiet. What do you got going over there, Preston?
Well, I've had already 3 meetings this morning, so I'm a little bit busy, and I got another one coming up here. But no, I'm just, I wanted to tune in to Ronnie Bincer because he is full of knowledge. I mean, there's no question about it. I look back in my career, and I probably could have been where he was at if I would have just concentrated on it, because I think I was in pretty early too when they first came out. But he really gets some information, I guess maybe directly from Google that no one else knows.
Oh, no, he absolutely has. He's a beta tester for some Google stuff that he's not allowed to talk about. And he'll tell you that. He'll kind of say, well, I can't talk about it, but kind of thing. But he's definitely a beta tester, no question about that. Plus, just because of who he is, he does have a lot of friends. But you know what? Friends at Google, I mean, friends are great to have anywhere, but I don't know what that necessarily means at Google, because they are interestingly the most mysterious company I think that was ever created.
Yeah, they don't tell you too much, do they?
Wayne, what do you got going over there? You got a new shot going over there?
A new shot?
Well, you're not in your kitchen. All I did was add
my lower third. Is that okay?
You're not in your kitchen.
Oh no, I'm in the office actually.
And that's where you and I first hung out, but you got some background going there now. Boy, it's kind of neat, that black background. It kind of puts you in space, man.
You want to see me in space? I can do that too, probably. Yeah, I have a green screen, so I'm playing around with all kinds of new things. Let's see.
And you do like to play around with camera angles. We know that.
Right. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of things that we can do. So we'll just have to figure it out as we go. Let's see.
Well, it's. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago in the community that it's about creativity. It's people will remember if you're doing something good or bad. They'll remember if you're doing something differently than the rest of the world. And let's see if there's. Oh wait, Mark has a. Wait a sec, Mark. Do you want to come in or not? I'll give it a. Mark, if you want to come into this hangout, let me know. Mark actually is a great source that you want to connect with Wayne, because music is his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing the Google thing for a long time. So if you want to connect with Mark, and he'll give you a lot of good advice. Have you met Mark yet?
Which Mark? I've met so many people on here in the last 3 weeks. It's been amazing. So I'm starting to have to write code names for everybody, right?
Mark Farashi.
Actually, no, I haven't met Mark Farashi yet.
Mark is he's been doing the Google thing for a long time. Music his. Oh, he wants to. I'm gonna invite you right now, Mark. He's been doing the Google thing for a long time, so he's definitely a guy you want to connect with. Back to Ronnie. I've known Ronnie before he actually started the community. I don't know how I originally hooked up with him, but we've been talking about stuff for a long time, and I actually had proposed a marketing objective for Ronnie, and that's when he told me that the interestingly enough the community was going to be started in a couple weeks after that. So, but look at he's in outer space. Are those constellations? Are those constellations and teach us.
There you go. Cool.
He's going where
Yeah, looks good. The master of disaster.
boldly go where no one has gone before.
Check out his hangouts a little more. What I was saying, guys, if you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Good morning.
can.
How are you?
Yeah.
Wayne, I was listening to your comments in regards to copyright and that sort of thing, and the biggest thing is to, like they're mentioning, is don't get a ding on your record in the beginning, because they don't know who you are, so they're going to kind of monitor what you're doing. And as long as they start to learn that you've got respect for the copyright and that sort of thing, and that you show that respect in how you represent yourself, you'll do fine.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is when you're going to be doing music or doing something, make sure that you either put it in a trailer talking about previewing somebody else's music. So if I have an artist in the room that I'm doing their music, obviously they're the owner of it. Okay, so I've never suffered a ding, and I've done all kinds of playing of music and doing that, but I always respect the fact that I want to mention the disclaimer, why I can play this music, why I can do what I'm doing. You'll see another gentleman that does his thing, and he kind of covers the Grateful Dead, and he's got a licensing agreement going on with a common I can't think of the full name of it, Common Comments or whatever it's called, but it's a licensing etiquette that's normally done, and he gets approval from another website. They've never said it in writing. It's not on his thing, coming from them as in writing, but he states it when he does his thing, saying they have given me the rights to play this music. I want to thank them, and I've never seen him get dinged. So again, just show respect and put it out there like that, and you should do fine.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking about doing. I have a friend that they have a band, and I actually want to put them even in the details section of my event page that, music for the show would be provided by such and such.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Type of thing, yeah.
Mark, let me ask you this question. Let's say let's say they ding you for, I mean, they can ding you whenever they want to ding you.
Correct.
That's their technology. They can do whatever they want to do. And if you say, well, I followed the rules, and how long does it take to resolve that?
I can't say how long it is. Just realize that it's a very large company, and anytime you have a large boat that's going in the water, it takes a long time to put the brakes on. So that being the case, it's going to take a little bit of work, and there's a lot of people that have had it happen by accident or by whatever happens, and you can sense their frustration. They're mad. They're upset. It ends up getting rectified, however, and a lot of times they'll be back on, and they won't be harassed anymore, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen, that you won't get dinged, that there isn't an accident that happens, that somebody clicks a click box because they're too fast on the gun or whatever, and then you've got to suffer that and work real hard to get back in the good graces, and then that screws up your flow. You don't want your marketing flow to be affected. It's too important to you as you're building whatever you're trying to build.
So they actually pick up that from one of their crawlers or something like that. That's
exactly.
How they pick it up.
It does. Some of it's automatic. Exactly. And if it came up automatic, where
it's very automatic. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
It even recognizes the sounds or music that you put. And in one video I uploaded to YouTube, there is a music playing in the background, and it's a dance program. Children are dancing in front of on a stage, and the music is being played in the background. And Google YouTube came back to me saying that this is so and so artist, so and so song. Do you agree that it is that? I said yes.
Right. Exactly.
So it did all that happened automatically. It's by a robot. It's I mean, it's by the computer. So when that's the case, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, we did that just recently too with a video we produced through a whiteboard animation company actually out of England, and they have the license for the music. But for some reason, when we uploaded it, it said third party, whatever it said, and they actually shut down my account. And I was like, huh? Why?
So how long
Why
did it take, Preston? You've experienced it. So how long did it take for you to go, and what process was it that you had to go through to obtain?
Well, I was confused at first, going what? Because I couldn't see anything. And then if you go in the back office, you can actually see that there's a notification, copyright notification. So you click onto that and you describe to them exactly what was going on. Why did that happen? Or why do you think that you have the legal right to it? And what it turned out to be was, and I guess the guy who produced that music or whoever had the automatic thing that he registered for because of his music, there was like 1 minute that is on the video that we did that actually, I guess, is copyrighted. And I don't know where it came, but because I put the information in there and said that I do have the legal right because of this other third party that gave me the legal right by buying the program, basically we can go ahead and do it, and then they put me back up again. But it's still pending, so I don't know what's going to happen if this guy doesn't get back in 60 days. I guess they just drop it. But
so my question, I guess, is how long did that take from you to be able to reply to them and click on it? How long did it take for them to undo your account?
Actually, it was only about maybe 24 hours, so it was pretty quick. Yeah. Yeah. So I was really happy by that too, but I was stressing over the weekend going, what am I going to do? I don't got no YouTube channel no more.
Right, exactly. So that tells you that robot, if it hears a song or something and picks it up as copyright, that it's going to flag it, and then you're stuck in the...
Well, we had that too at church. We were doing a broadcast, live broadcast in HOA, and we got music rights to the music that we play. The problem is that when it's on HOA, there's like a little box that pops up and says you're losing illegal information or whatever it said, and it said please stop the recording or stop the HOA or we'll stop it for you, something like that. And we stopped it, of course, but then I kind of went a little bit and kind of pushed the envelope a little bit and did it again, and then it never recognized it. But it must have been one particular song that was registered by this artist, and basically it came up on the database of Google. So
Right.
you know,
Well,
you just got to be careful. So
what's interesting about all that is because what you're talking about, I think, Wayne, weren't you talking about that? What you're doing is having stuff that's in the background, TV and some other things that are going on. And in other words, your music could be something that's copyrighted, so their robots will pick up on it. My guests are always original artists and original music, and I don't have anything playing in the background, so I'm a little bit freer to get away with what I'm doing. So it might be something that you're a little more concerned with. If you've got some kind of media that's coming in from some other source, even like Vivek says, if it's just playing in the background and there was a TV on, and then boom, then they're going to flag it, and you're in trouble.
Right, because I had purchased a MIDI file from one of these websites that says, you know, as long as you pay whatever $36, you can put it on so many websites for free, type of thing. But I don't know. But I do have a friend that has a band, and I'm just waiting on them to actually record something for me that's not somebody else's music.
Yeah, then you shouldn't have a problem with that because the robots aren't going to pick up on it.
And I think as long as it's played live as in the players should be visible on the camera in the Hangout, then they should be. They can't say, even if it is a copyright thing. I mean, copyrighted by the artist playing, then it shouldn't matter.
So if you want to play any Beatles music, Mark, you're going to have the Beatles right there.
Bring Beatles back.
Exactly.
well, I always wondered is if you put in the credits.
David, I need to go. Ray is calling. Yeah. Okay.
Have a good day, Vivek, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Nice meeting you, Wayne and Mark.
You too, Vivek.
Bye. Vivek. We'll see you.
Bye.
No, what I was saying is, if you are using music and you acknowledge that person is the one who did that music in your event description, would that fly also, or do you really need permission directly from that artist?
Well, if it's complacent information, in other words, there's the artist, they're right there in the room with you, and it's their music, then it's obvious that you're being given permission. So it's not something, you don't have to submit any writing or any of that. It's obvious they've got robots that they're using to pick up on copyright and that sort of thing, which is kind of cool. It's a neat thing. They're protecting copyright. It's important.
Well, and the reason I ask is because I've listened to some podcasting, and they have music, of course, going in the background or as an introduction, and I wonder if they get the rights before they obviously do the show. Because
let's get into that conversation a little bit. You're talking. It's really a tangled web out there. In other words, here's a good example of it. There's different rules between what the terms of service rules are for YouTube versus Google Plus Hangouts on Air. And this tangled stuff goes on all the time. So the rules of podcasting are totally different because they're so entrenched and already been set by precedent that Google hasn't got into that. But these Hangouts were brand new, and Google is the one that created it. So they created their own structure on what they expect of their populace, the people that, us, the people that use it, to be able to do in their terms of service in that regard. So that's what we're living under, is their rules of terms of service when we use these Hangouts.
Okay.
So there's a difference, and so there's, again, as podcasting has its own set of rules based on precedent and everything else that's already been historically there, that they're going to allow to get away with it because it's already there. So
cool.
That's my interpretation, and I'm not a lawyer, so take it for what it's worth.
You told me you were a lawyer. I mean, that wasn't true.
Yeah. I'm a man with a lot of opinions.
I heard you paid him like $1,000. Was that where, Dave?
Actually, the only dream that I had in my lifetime that I have not completed was going to law school. And I actually, in the last 5 years, I've been in the courtroom twice on legal business issues and representing myself. And I got a lot of fun with that. So the first time, and I didn't win either one of them as such. I mean, big picture, in my mind, I won. I didn't care what the consequence was, but I won the argument. And so I called my mom up. I said, Mom, you've always told me you wanted me to go to law school, and I never made it. But I won my first case court today.
You said that was the only dream that you hadn't completed. I don't believe that, David. I think you've got another dream that you haven't completed.
What is that?
Your son's getting married here pretty quick.
Well, that's not my dream. That's his dream.
Yes.
No, actually, you're right. It's my dream to have a daughter-in-law that'll go
Yes.
gain good control of my son. Yes, it's my dream.
That's all good. Well, congratulations anyway. That's going to be kind of cool.
That's going to happen on Saturday in Columbus, Ohio. And
Right.
I shouldn't say equally as important, but also very important. I'm going to see my granddaughter for the third time on Friday morning.
Very cool.
She lives in Rome, and she was just 9 months old. And the last time I saw her in real life was in her second week. So I'm real anxious. But you know, to the beauty and the wondrous of Hangouts on air, I hang out with her every single week, and
cool.
every week we hang out at least once. So, well, it's all up to my son. He hasn't taught her yet how to use a keyboard, but she'll learn hopefully soon. So when she wants to call Grandpa up, she'll figure out how to do it. She won't need her father to help her.
It's amazing on how fast they learn that. He won't have to teach her. She'll learn it on her own. It's amazing. Kids are just amazing.
Well, she was my son had been doing the Hangouts on an iPhone, and the way he had it, she couldn't see me. Obviously, she could hear me, but she couldn't see me because of the camera, whatever. And the last couple ones, he's actually done from his desktop, so now she sees me. But the really, really neat thing about a Hangout, one of the neat things, I take pictures of her, and as you know, if you take more than 5 pictures of the same subject, Google recognizes that, and they create an auto awesome. And so I'm taking these still pictures, and they're getting some animation to them, and that's really, really neat because in 3 weeks I'm going to have her sitting on my lap right here, and we're going to be watching the screen, and she's going to be seeing all this stuff, and I'm going to bring her to a meeting, and she's going to rule the meeting. You got that straight now?
You'll have the most visitors to that show than any other show.
I call her Precious Eloise.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Hey, I got a question for you guys too, because this is kind of part of my work too now. We produce these videos on YouTube. For some reason, we went through the process of editing it, but we found a mistake in it. And I need to redo that video. Is there a way, instead of deleting that video, I can just replace that video once I get it done?
You should be able to pull
because we already
down.
had visitors.
You should be able to put it up there, I would think. People do it all the time where you take your video and you repurpose it. So you put your branding on it, you repurpose it, and you put it back up. So it's done all the time. How to do it is a different story. But yeah.
I know Ronnie Bincer said what he does with his Hangouts is he likes to leave the original one up there, and then he'll put a little thing where it said, see the modified version or the improved version of this video here, and it flashes, and people can just click that and then go.
No, I was talking about a video that we produced through the animation company. We just have a spelling error in there, and so I need to fix that right away and replace it. Now, if I replace it, obviously my views are going to go to nothing. But I was hoping I could, because I'd have to delete it and upload it again. I was just hoping I could just replace that video and still keep the views, but maybe that's not even possible. Maybe that's a dream list.
It's an interesting subject.
Actually, you also do you know Scott Scowcroft?
No.
Ping him, Scott Scowcroft. Tell him I referred you to him. He fools around a lot with that stuff, so he might have a good answer for you.
It's SCOLCRAFT?
No, SCOW.
Oh.
Scowcroft, CROFT. Scott Scowcroft. SCOWCROFT. Tell him I told you to call, to message him. He's a great guy. He lives in Seattle, and he and I have been, actually he goes back to my earliest days of hanging out, and he does a lot of video work. Well, I helped him start a business called the Scott Treatment, and he'll take an HOA and he'll break it down into 3-minute pieces, and edit it and add whatever
trailers or whatever you want done, graphics and all that good stuff. He's good too. I've seen this
well,
stuff.
he got in with the big boys really early on, Ronnie being one of them, and David Amerlin, and Eric Engie. I mean, and he got in with those guys early on, so he's got a nice portfolio of information now.
Yeah.
But tell him I told you to contact him, and he'll take care of you. And if he doesn't take care of you, let me know, and I'll ping him in his nose.
Can you spell his name again? I'm sorry. S-C...
Scott Scowcroft. SCOWCROFT. Scowcroft.
And since this is going out live, what's his name of his business again? The Scott Treatment. What is it?
The Scott Treatment.
Oh, there it is.
I think he just launched his website. Wait a second. I'll tell you in a second. Hold on.
Yeah, let's find out so we can give the proper information to the crowd that's watching us out there.
Mark Preston, it was nice to meet you. David.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. I'm going to go check out
your profile. Wayne, are you doing another cooking show next week?
We're doing them bi-weekly right now.
Bi-weekly?
Just every 2 weeks.
Cool.
So
I'll have to
it
check
won't be
it
long
out.
till you're doing them weekly.
There you go.
Once we can get the following and up and everything else, we'll go to weekly. But right now, just to, we're still learning things, and I'm still working as a nurse. So. But
you're still working as a nurse.
Yeah. And I have a lot of leads with that too, actually. I mean, we started this to do the nursing hangouts on air, right? To talk to different people with my intention of trying to help nurses grow personally, not so much professionally. What I mean by that is having people come on and help with teaching life skills and things of that nature. And I'm working with the National Nurses Business Association with some of that stuff as well. Nothing's come to fruition yet. It's all in the early stages. They wanted me to kind of, show some possibilities. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to work and actually write a physical business plan, which is kind of difficult.
Yeah, it is a lot more than you realize. Huh? Did you get on that smallbusiness.gov site and check out their template and check that out?
Yes, I'm waiting on the Small Business Association to call me back from my local area as well.
Cool.
But again, this is all new to them. They're used to helping brick and mortar type business.
Well, just for interesting enough, you two were two of the three guys that asked me about business plans last week. both of you asked me last week about it. It was for whatever reason people were asking me about business plans, and they're extremely important to do. Well, it's a requirement, particularly if you're going outside, you're looking outside your business for investment. They will require a business plan because they want to know how their money's going to be used and what the prospects are for their money. But just as a business exercise, I never wrote. I operated my small business, which is kind of multifaceted, for 35 years before I ever wrote my first business plan. And just going through the exercise of writing it was a wonderful business exercise. I bought some software. At that time, it cost $99, and it asks you 100 questions, and you give the answers, and you push the button at the end that creates your business plan for you. And it was a real good exercise because it's good to to ask the right questions, and then for you either to handwrite the answer to the question or type it out or whatever, but you have to go through the process of answering that question because then it becomes embedded in your mind. It's not it's not out there. It's it then becomes part of your subconscious.
That's interesting, Wayne. You talk about them, about them not being familiar with this business model at all, and that they're used to brick and mortar. So, what has been their reaction to you in that regard? So are they pursuing it a little bit, or we're talking about smallbusinessgovernments.gov site, right?
Well, this is actually my local branch.
Your local businesses that you're your local
in
branch.
Louisiana. They have a Small Business Association for Louisiana, and they have basically it's just like anything else. Right now, their funding keeps getting cut, so the person that would be in charge of one thing is now in charge of 5 things.
More for less. We know that program.
Right. So it's been very difficult, and they've done the same thing. Go to the the government website and see what they have, and they've been trying to connect me with some of the local businesses around here to get with them, but they all charge $150 plus an hour just to talk. So it's been kind of difficult. What's that?
You said they charge you $150 an hour?
Not the Small Business Association.
Oh. Are you talking about the people from SCORE, SCORE?
Well, just people that I've been advised to go talk to.
Right.
SCORE is typically retired persons.
Right.
And we don't have a large area here, so it's been very difficult. So again, it's because the one person's wearing 5 hats, but she is scheduled to call me at some point today. But the government website actually does have a lot of very good, valuable resources for the typical business. But what I'm trying to do is not typical. And basically what I'm trying to do is 3 things into one plan, if that makes sense to you.
It does, because what you're doing is it's kind of like the music industry. You go out to be an artist and you want to put out a record and you think that's the way you're going to make your living. You don't. You make your living by having as many little pieces as you can everywhere, publishing, whatever it is, that you can pull in as much into that net as possible. Then you end up making a living. And so I'm kind of doing the same thing, and it's the same thing that I perceive, is as I go along, I'm going to have to get as many pieces as I can to get into my net so that I do the same thing. But what you're doing is what any business person has to do. You're going out and having to figure it out as you go because you're on the leading edge of something. And you're getting directed towards those people because they're community leaders or community people in that area, and they charge a fee for that. Getting around them is going to be a matter of being creative as well, because you're going to have to figure out, how do I keep my costs down and not get stuck in a little rut where I'm paying this guy all this money for his consultation fees. See what I'm saying? How can I figure out what I need to figure out without having to? And it's and every area is different. You're talking about Louisiana, and there's Louisiana politics, there's Louisiana community. And every community has that. No matter
Wayne,
where
do a favor for me. Wayne, do a favor for me. In our community discussion group, pose a question that you're looking for an answer to. I'd be real curious to see what kind of response rate you get on it.
Yeah. Well, and it's like anything else too. You want to be limited with who you actually share your business ideas with, because some of these people are already in progress, and I've already mentioned something to somebody, and then a week later they kind of took my idea. Well, they didn't know kind of about it. They took
Mark's got some stories along those lines also.
Yeah. And because of my nature, is just like we were talking about earlier, Ronnie mentioned it, is people learn by teaching. And so I'd use that model at work. I end up using that, and I bring my student along, and all of a sudden I will ask them to teach the next person. It's the time that I see them grow the most. You learn the most by teaching. And so that's how I do it. And I bounce this and I get myself in trouble constantly. People are always taken from my intellect. They're sponging off of me. And it's frustrating, because that's part of who I am. I'm a giver. I want to do that. It's also how I learn. So you're trying to, but how to bottle that and do it in the right way is a total different. It's an art. I need to learn it. I need to learn how do I keep my mouth shut, and how do I keep myself bottled in enough that I can not give it away and let other people pick up on my energy and my intellect, where they end up, because what you're doing is you're seeding the universe. You see what I'm saying? And so you're all the time, people are around you. Like we're having a discussion right now, and people pick up on that, and boom, they spin off of it. So how can you keep it close to the vest at the same time do the learning you need to learn? It's tough. It's not
Eat
easy.
some crawfish.
Yeah, go. Good food, that'll do it. Good food and wine, that'll do it.
Wayne's got a good recipe. Look at his HOA from yesterday.
But and again, I started this because I was asked to do it just to show that it could be done, and Well, I proved it, and now it seems
There's a
like
huge market, Wayne. It really is, because if you go out and you talk to people, where I start New York, other places that I'm in contact with people all over the place, everybody that I talk to, they don't know anything about Google, or they're so used to doing the business the way that they do it, that, like you're talking about, they don't want to take the hard work it takes to get onto Google, as an example. So I'm having a heck of a time. The last month, you haven't seen any shows. There's a reason for that, because I can't get them to have the quality that I need them to have. They got to have a camera. They got to have a mic. And I'll get things like the artist. So, well, I got my phone. Can I come on with my phone? No, you can't come on with your phone, because you're representing what I'm trying to do and producing a show. And I can't have just a little face that comes on us, because it changes the whole look of it. You know,
Right.
I'm trying to produce something with quality here. You know, it gets tough. It really is. It's not an easy task. So, but you sound like you're doing good. I'm gonna go check out your shows and check out what you got going on. And maybe me and you can talk in private and kind of get some creativity going on, because that's what it's all about. Is like David was saying, is that creative spark that when you're producing these shows.
right.
So.
No, I definitely want to meet with you and talk about some things. And David's been very helpful too, just by providing resources on people to talk with. So
I'm a facilitator, Wayne. That's what I do best in life.
But like I said, I'm a nurse by trade, and it's intrinsic nature for me to want to help too. But I need to figure out, well, I got to make money off of this, just so I can, because it's my time, and my time is valuable as well.
I think what I would say is you want to try to do what you're doing, kind of keep it close to the vest, but remember that, and this is what's happening right now, and it's not a secret. I'll go ahead and talk about it because it's out. Anybody that's smart enough to figure it out is going to know it's there. Is Google is going towards local, okay? Meaning the local business is what it's all about, and it's about Hangouts on Air right now. And there's a reason for that, because it used to be when you promoted your business, you did it by going out and getting a Yellow Pages ad, by putting in reader ads in a paper, by putting out regular publication in your advertisement around your community. That's changed. Now it's all the internet. So you do it with a web page, and you do it with digital media, and these Hangouts on Air is where it's all going. And so those that can get into that and do it in the right way, and you've got to educate your community. Like you said, you're going out and talking to people, they have no clue. So you've got to be the one that educates them. Dennis Deuce has already started on it, and he's doing a great job with what he's doing, and he's right on the tip of the spear in what he's doing. There's a huge market. So sell to your market, stay centered, and go out and do what you need to do to educate them and to teach them. And then go after your passions, like you're talking about doing something in the nursing and all that. I mean, go towards causes that you care about, because those passions will shine through.
That's one thing I do want to do. There's a March of Dimes. It's for premature babies, and I want to help them. But again, I'm trying to create a portfolio to where I can show these are some prior shows, because anybody can do an Hangout on Air. But where's the quality? Where's the value? Those sorts of things.
That's a matter of doing, when there's a lot of that going on right now too. You've got to teach yourself how to track the numbers. How do you get the numbers? And you're talking about circle scope, that sort of thing. You've got, and David's the one that really is pretty good at this sort of thing, of being able to show your person that you're trying to pitch it to, who you're trying to sell, the numbers. Okay, your viewership and what you've got in interaction. That's what it's all about, is an interaction. I've got huge numbers. But anybody that knows me also knows that I have a very low interaction rate, so that's not a good thing. See? So there's a catch-22, because it's all turning towards that. You're gonna the ones that are buying it, in other words, you're pitching it to, that are looking at it, they're going to get smart too, and they're going to figure out that we want to see that interaction. If there's no interaction going on, then that's not a value to them.
Right.
That's an interesting statement you made, Mark. As you're doing HOAs. Is your engagement factor getting greater?
It is and it isn't. There's a lot of human nature, a lot of politics, a lot of things that go along with that. It will. I believe that if you build it, they will come. So I'm going to put my investment into that, and I think it's going to be the case. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of connections in the industry, so that will help as time goes along as well. But yeah, interaction is really important.
I think one challenge has been I know a few nurses I've talked to, they have their own business, and they literally pay less than $60 a month for their social media, because they have this outsourced through other platforms, and they don't have to do anything, just set everything up in one day, and actually they have these virtual assistants do it now for about $4 or $5 an hour. So
Right.
to tell them that now they have to interact, you know, because that's what Google wants, they're not really digging that too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. There's that value word again. You know, what the value of time is money and all that good stuff. All you can do with that is just keep trying to do what you do. If you can get your numbers come up, you can keep proving it. You can keep doing what you need to do. They'll go along what they have to. You know, the market is changing.
I gotta run. I gotta get some stuff done before 2. So here's tomorrow. We're gonna have an interesting discussion. I don't know if you guys know Carmen Rojas. Rojas.
Right.
She's a pretty interesting young lady, athlete, but she's very entrepreneurial, and she's in the community. And I've been following her also, and she represents the new breed of entrepreneurs. And we're going to talk a little bit tomorrow about email marketing. She used that as a topic. How effective is it? And also, really interesting, she's doing her own HOA tomorrow afternoon after hours, and we're going to do a lead-in for her. But she's going to be talking with a multi-level marketing expert, which is kind of interesting because that's an industry that, you know, it's got a lot of black eyes in it, and people don't want to be a part of it. But she's going to talk about some strategic marketing lessons that can be learned from doing multi-level marketing the right way. So
sounds good.
Carmen and I are going to be talking about that tomorrow. Then she's got her own HOA tomorrow afternoon. Okay, I got to run. Hey, thanks for coming along. I know you guys got something out of it because you're interacting with one another and you define next steps. That's what it's all about.
All right.
Nice to meet you guys.
We'll see you.
Good to meet you too. Thank you, David. You have a good day, guys.
Take care.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
the invite, David. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.